Number 5. Soul Taker, Suicide Squad. The Soul Taker sword appears in the 2016 film Suicide Squad as a weapon of the character Katana. Originally, this sword belonged to Katana's brother-in-law, who killed her husband with it. Afterward, Katana takes the sword from him and uses it as her weapon. The Soul Taker is a cursed sword that traps the souls of those it strikes, including the soul of Katana's husband. In the real history of Japanese swords, there has long been a belief that swords can hold spiritual power. Many famous cursed swords have been said to carry the spirits of those they have killed. For example, the Dojigiri Yasuna, a famous sword, became legendary after it was used to slay the Shuten Doji, and it is said that those who inherited the sword went mad. The Soul Taker perfectly fits the image of a cursed sword, matching Katana's tragic backstory. Number 4. Algren's Sword, The Last Samurai. Algren's sword appears in the 2003 film The Last Samurai, where it is used by Captain Nathan Algren, played by Tom Cruise. Algren, a hero of the American Civil War who had wielded guns in battle, officially becomes a samurai after receiving a sword from Katsumoto, a leader of the samurai. The distinctive feature of this sword is the inscription carved on the blade, which reads, "I am the sword of the one who brings harmony to the old and new." This inscription reveals that Katsumoto sees Algren as the next inheritor of the samurai spirit, and the sword is passed to him as a symbol of his new life. Algren uses this sword in many battles and after surviving eventually passes it to Emperor Meiji. Japanese swords have long been symbols of the samurai spirit, and it is not uncommon for swords to have carvings like the one seen in Algren's sword. Swords might have images of dragons or deities like Fudomyo-o, or even inscriptions reflecting the values and beliefs of their owners. Number 3. Kai's Sword, 47 Ronin. Kai's sword appears in the 2013 film 47 Ronin, where it is wielded by the protagonist Kai. The sword is special, and there's a unique backstory to how Kai comes to possess it. The sword originally belonged to the Tengu, a mythical creature that raised Kai. After Kai joins the 47 Ronin, he travels to the Tengu's village to retrieve the sword. The Tengu tests Kai and his companion's strength, and after recognizing their power, the Tengu grants the sword to the Ronin, including Kai. Kai's sword later proves to have magical abilities, such as being able to stop the flames of a dragon. "47 Ronin" is a fictionalized retelling of the real-life Ako incident in Japanese history, where a group of Ronin avenged the death of their master. While no special sword, like Kai's, appears in the true story, Japanese folklore is full of swords said to have been granted by gods or supernatural beings. The Kogarasumaru, the oldest Japanese sword and known as a treasure of the emperor, is said to have been received by Emperor Kanmu from a mythical three-legged crow. Additionally, many legendary Japanese swordsmen are said to have learned their swordsmanship from Tengu, and the heroic Minamoto no Yoshitsune is believed to have trained under the Tengu. The relationship between Kai and the Tengu in the film may have been inspired by such myth and historical facts. Number 2. Masamune Sword, Highlander. The Masamune sword appears in the 1986 film Highlander, where it is a symbol of the protagonist Connor's journey. The sword originally belonged to Ramirez, Connor's mentor, and Connor inherits the sword from Ramirez and uses it to fight enemies with his impressive swordsmanship. The Masamune sword was originally forged over 2000 years ago in the 6th century BC by Masamune, the father of Ramirez's wife, Sakiko. Since then, Ramirez has kept it as his beloved weapon.
When Shakiko died, I was shattered. I would save you that pain. Please, let Heather go.
In fact, the Masamune sword is a real historical blade and is widely known in the West as well. However, Japanese sword did not exist in the 6th century BC, as curved blades were not developed until around the 10th century. The real Masamune was a swordsmith who lived during the 13th and 14th centuries. Several of Masamune's swords still exist today, and they have been regarded as some of the highest quality blades. Among them, the Hanzo Masamune is particularly famous. It is passed down through the Tokugawa shogunate as a symbol of the shogun's authority, but was confiscated by the GHQ after World War II and has since gone missing. Number 1. Hattori Hanzo Sword, Kill Bill. The Hanzo. When it comes to Japanese swords in movies, many people think of the Hattori Hanzo sword. However, it's important to note that there was no historical swordsmith named Hattori Hanzo. There was, however, a real-life figure by that name. Hattori Hanzo was the famous ninja and samurai who served under Shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu and was known for his many accomplishments in battle. Interestingly, the sword and spear that Hattori Hanzo used still exist today. The spear is preserved at Sainenji Temple in Shinjuku, Tokyo, and is occasionally displayed for the public.